Namaste, good morning, and hello to all worldwide. This is Shirish Pandit, and today we are going to have a session with chutneys. Now, chutneys often are interpreted as something, or people have a conception that the chutneys are supposed to be thick, kind of gravy like, and sticky. But in the Indian cuisine, chutneys are a whole different and very multifarious world. And today we are going to start with a very basic chutney base and then convert that into two other chutneys, which you will thoroughly enjoy if you just spread them on on your bread or your sandwiches, and that will give these sandwiches a really wonderful and delicious flavor. So let's get started by getting to know what these basic ingredients are and how we are going to scale up on them. All right. So we are going to start with a coconut base. Now you can either have fresh coconut, but that's very difficult to have a reliable, tasty and non-spoiled fresh coconut. Plus it's a lot of work. That's why we are just going to work with dried desiccated coconut, which you get in the supermarkets here. For the spice, we've got green chilies. Later on, for the red variant, I'm going to add a red chili. This is ginger. And for the sourness, we'll just add a dash of lemon, some salt, of course. And if optional, if you want, you can round it off with a slight sweetish taste with jaggery. This is powdered jaggery, Palmenzucker in German. And it's optional if you want to do it without, then just leave it out. So that will form the base. Now, from that whitish base, we are going to make a green chutney, which is going to have coriander as the basic ingredient. Now, I know coriander is a very polarizing herb and spice, and people either love it or hate it. But I can assure you that if you use fresh coriander with this whole mixture, you will not even realize that this is a coriander-based chutney. And out of experience, I've given it to absolute coriander-hating colleagues of mine, and they did not know that this was coriander based. They just praised and loved it. And at the end of it, I told them, sorry to spoil the fun, but this was made of coriander. So that is the green variant. We'll have a reddish variant where tomatoes will be the basis, and to give it some nutty and full-bodied feeling, we'll add some peanuts. Of course, if you're allergic to nuts, you can drop that out. Just stick to the tomatoes. But that will be the red variant, and in that we'll be adding that red chili. And in order to get some fluid while mixing all this stuff, I'm going to add some coconut milk. You can even add some warmish water. Why warm? Because that warm water will then easily mix and make these desiccated coconut flakes even softer. So that is for the fluid and the body. And the last step is going to be one where we give that whole thing a real nice crunchy punch. And for that, in some hot oil, we are going to add the tempering comprising cumin seeds, brown mustard seeds, and these are what are known as curry leaves. Lovely, unbeatable aroma, and you'll just see the effect of it once you've tried it. So this is all that we need for three extremely delicious chutneys.
And where do you get all those herbs and spices?
Good question. So the desiccated coconut, ginger, lime, salt, even jaggery, you will get in the German supermarkets. Of course, roasted peanuts as well, tomato. Nowadays, you even get coriander in German supermarkets, the coconut milk as well. I think the only ingredient for which you would need to go to Asian supermarkets is A, the curry leaves, and B, the green chilies, which are the real powerful kind of chilies. So even the curry leaves, you will get them in dried form in almost all Asian supermarkets. If not, it's more the Indian specialty, so that's why you'll get it in Indian type of supermarkets, or especially those run by South Indians from the Sri Lankan and South Indian side. So let's get started. So for the next step, what we need is a mixer. You can use any mixer you have. I have these typical Indian types of mixers.
Like what is
I-
plate?
there you go. The ginger pieces, I just peel them off, but and all you need is biggish pieces. You don't need to chop it too fine or grate it because that's going to be done in the mixer. So I'll just take these pieces, add them into the mixer. Same with the other ginger piece. Then we have the green chilies. So these two, you don't need to finely chop, just cut them into biggish pieces so that they get easily mixed. So I've added these. Now, after that, we are adding the desiccated coconut flakes. Salt, just use your judgment. You can always start low and then keep adding salt to your taste. So I'll stop there, and I'm rounding it off with this small portion of jaggery, powdered jaggery. So that's about it. Some lime.
How many grams of coconut will it be approximately?
Since we are making 3 portions out of this, I don't know in terms of grams, but I've started with, let's say, about 4 to 5 tablespoons of coconut. Thank you. And I'm adding, for the body of it, so that it gets mixed, I'm adding some coconut milk. Okay, so we've added everything there now, and off we go to mix it. So the first try of mixing shows that, okay, we need slight more fluid or liquid into it. So I'm just going to add a dash of water. So I mixed it for about 10 seconds, not more, just get a feel for how powerful and effective your mixer is. And as you can see, we've got the basic chutney already ready there. And trust me, even this is really better than what you get in most restaurants. And without the camera work and all that, if you were to do this on your own at home, it's done in less than 5 minutes. So that's step one. But the proof of the pudding or the chutney is always in the eating. So let's just go for it. I did not overpromise. It really is nice. But we also need feedback from the person who's been assisting us with all this. So there you go.
Very good.
Wonderful. So with that base, let's move on to the next step. Now we are going to make a greenish chutney with the coriander addition to it. So there we have the coriander. I'd make sure that you just take all the fresh stems. Anything that's yellowed out or yellowish leaves, just leave it. And here we are going to, again, no fine chopping, just cut it in a way so that it's easily mixable in that mixer. So we are going to first take away the chutney because part of it we want to keep as white, part of it we want to make red, and part of it green. So I just take away the chutney first and maybe take a third of it. Yeah. Then we add the coriander. We'll add a dash of salt because the coriander has now come extra into it. And in order to give the fluid, I'll add a bit more of coconut milk. And we are ready to go. Alright, so we've mixed it with the coriander. As you can see, the green color is there. Let me just remove it and show you. So there we go. Wonderful. Let's see the aroma.
Oh, so fresh.
So fresh coriander, ginger, green chili, coconut, all is in there, and even this refreshing lime flavor. Even that you can smell. So let's see how this one fares in our test. I think it can be a bit better, but let's get the.
I love it. And the Swedish part is also amazing.
So no more jaggery for you? That's
No,
okay? That's okay?
absolutely
Perfect. Okay.
wonderful.
So that's good.
Maybe a drop of lemon, but
A drop of lemon. Okay. So we've got that. We'll just add a dash of lemon.
that's enough.
Okay. Wonderful. And now we go for the next part. I'm just going to rinse this a bit so that we have the reddish variant for the tomato-based chutney. All right. So now we are in step 3. We're taking a third of the base chutney and we are going to make it into a reddish one. So as mentioned, we've got the tomatoes for that. We add them. And for that nutty, crunchy feeling, I'm going to add roasted peanuts. We also have this. Now this is going to make it pretty spicy. So while tasting as well, we need to be a bit careful. So that's the red chili. And not to forget some coconut milk to give it that body and to make it mixable. So I guess that should be it. On second thoughts, because I've added extra spice and extra salt, I'm just going to add a bit of extra jaggery into this one, because otherwise I think the flavor would be a bit too strongly on the spicy and salty side.
It's sugar cane, right?
Correct. So that is jaggery is a sugar cane. It's also called palm sugar or palmensukker, and it's believed that it's a bit healthier than the normal sugar that you get. So if you want to go for a variant which is not honey or not white sugar, then this kind of jaggery is the slightly healthier variant. The other thing, all these chutneys, even if they're slightly on the saltier side, that's okay, because you're going to use them as a spread with some breads. So that bread is going to neutralize some of the extra spice. And because we are using partly fresh ingredients, try to preserve them in the refrigerator. And I think about 6 to 7 days should be fine. And after that, just make sure you check them. The other thing you can use them is not just as a spread, but if you're making some curries or even any dish of your own cuisine, you can just add a spoonful of these chutneys, depending on the color of the dish that you want to have, and it'll just enhance the flavor. So there are really many applications of that. All right, so I've mixed it, and I think the color of it could be a slightly more intense red. In fact, I wasn't aware that I've run out of tomatoes, so I just had a bit less. But what you can do in such cases is always improvise. I've just taken some tomato paste concentrate, the Tomatenmark as they call it in German, and I'm going to add that to it and then mix it to see if the color changes. It's just more for the visual effect than for the flavor. So I've added that and I'll mix it again. So I don't know if it's apparent in the camera in the shooting, but the color is a bit intense indeed, and I think that's it's more appealing. So it was a good step to just improvise that a bit. And talking about improvisations, any of these you can always spice up with more or less chili. If you want a dash of lime, as my wife was saying earlier, for the greenish variant, then you can always add a dash of lemon, or citrus concentrate, whatever you like, or to round it off on the sweeter side, you can add a dash of sugar or jaggery, again, according to your preference. Salt, of course. So all this is kind of dosable. The main thing is you can very quickly come to that 80-90% taste, and then you can just keep adjusting to suit it to make it suit your preferences. So we've got the third chutney as well. I'm going to take that chutney into this third container. So that's the red one. We've got the red and the green ones, and before that we had the whitish. It's got a slightly green tinge because of the greenish chilies, but it's basically white. Now comes this kind of magical step which hardly anyone does, even in the Indian restaurants you don't see it. So what we're going to do is, if you have any such small vessel where you can really heat up a small portion, let's say 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil, any oil you prefer. I've taken coconut oil, but you could use sunflower oil or olive oil or anything that you want. And then in that, we are going to just add these really small, not even a teaspoon of brown mustard seeds, cumin seeds, and the curry leaves. So I'm just waiting for the oil to heat up. And while the oil is heating up over here, I just remembered that I haven't got the confirmation that this is an edible chutney. I would definitely eat it. And let's get the third person's opinion. So this is going to be a bit spicier. Be careful.
It is. That's hot.
So that one red chili does make that difference, and that's why it was optional. I did it to get a more kind of stronger kick from that chutney, but you could drop it out if you wish to keep it a bit milder. So I can see, I don't know if the camera can capture it, but the oil has started fuming a bit, which means it's hot, and that's when we are going to add these dry spices first. So you can hear that they are spluttering. I'm going to turn off the flame. Now it's going to just stay away, in the sense the moisture in the curry leaves might make it splutter strongly. So I'm just going to turn off the flame, let it cool down slightly. But we need that higher temperature, because it's only then that the curry leaves become really crispy, and the aroma and flavor of those leaves that goes into the oil. If you just keep it on a mild flame and the oil is not hot, then you won't get the real fun of this. So this oil that we had, that we are going to just add a spoon of each into the chutneys here. You can hear that sizzling sound, right? There you go. And the curry leaves,
which I love to eat.
Absolutely. There are some who just look and admire the curry leaves, and there are others like my wife who devour them wherever they are. So up to you. So there we go. Green coriander coconut based chutney. Remember that you could also add mint or parsley or rocket, rucola, any green of your choice if you don't want to go for coriander. So mint, rucola, rocket or basil, any such thing. Tomato and groundnut based red chutney, and pure coconut based white chutney. 3 really delicious things done in about 10 minutes, and that can be the basis of a very delicious week ahead for you with a lot of variation. So enjoy that, and thanks for watching, and please remember to subscribe to the channel and let me know your feedback and open to your ideas. Bye.